Hi, welcome to this edition of Digital Discoveries. Today we're going to talk about something that you've probably seen out there, but you may not know exactly what they are and you've kind of ignored them. But after today, hopefully you won't ignore them. And these are something called QR codes. Now, we're going to be talking about how to use it in a classroom, but I think parents, teachers, and students can all enjoy what we have to say about QR codes. So you've probably seen, and on the screen here you can actually see like these little fuzzy kind of thing. It's like, what is that? What is that QR code all about? And well, QR stands for quick response, and a quick response code is a way of embedding information in a way that you can put a lot more information into a small little area. And then you use some kind of device to scan that, kind of like when you go to the store and they scan the barcodes, very similar to that. But instead of the barcodes that just go one way across that, on a QR code it goes this way, but it also goes this way as well. So you can actually put a lot more information into a little tiny space. And so we're going to talk about what QR codes are, where you find them. I've got this picture here of an Iron Man poster from a couple of years ago when Iron Man 2 came out, and you can see that in Iron Man's power pack there's actually a QR code in his power pack, and this was a theater poster. And what people would do in a theater is that they'd go up and they would scan that little QR code that was there, and it would take them to a website. It would take them to some more information about Iron Man 2. So it was used for advertising purposes. But QR codes aren't just used for advertising purposes. They can be used as web links. They can be used as where you can scan something and it'll take you to a website. You can scan something and it'll take you to some text. It won't take you to like an entire book or something, but it'll take you to like some small text type of thing. It can take you to a video. It can even take you to like even Facebook profiles. And so QR codes are all over the place. And so when you come across something that looks like that, don't freak out. Don't freak out. I'm going to actually show you how you can access these, how you can use them, and then how you might be using them in a classroom. So I'm going to pop out of here, and I'm going to show you a quick little video. This was done by a school district that really got into using QR codes. And so they made this video about how they're using QR codes. Let me pop that up. And whoops, there it is. And this is actually on a website called SchoolTube. So if you're a teacher and you're not on SchoolTube, that's a good place to get lots of information. That's a really good website, schooltube.com. But for right now, I want to show you this video about QR codes in the classroom.
Welcome to McGuffey School District. This video will illustrate how we are using QR codes to provide mobile learning opportunities for our students.
I bet you have been wondering what all the posters in the hall mean. Our project is called Mobile Zebra. McGuffey will use QR codes in an educational setting. A barcode can only be read horizontally, which means it can only hold so much data. A QR code can be read horizontally and vertically, which means it can hold much more data. Take a picture of the QR code and you will be connected to videos, audio, pictures, or websites.
We started our project in the school library where students in the reading classes developed podcasts on accelerated reader books. Allison then converted those podcasts to QR codes and added a QR card in the back of the book. Students can now choose a book in the library, take it to our special QR code station, and listen to a student-created podcast review of the book.
Our world language teacher develops audio versions of vocabulary for students to review pronunciations. She added a QR code in the corner of her worksheets so students could listen and practice while on the move. The social studies teachers add QR codes on their worksheets that analyze battles. The QR code links students to reenactments on YouTube so they may better visualize the battle. Because science labs may not be repeatable for students who are absent, our science teachers record the science labs and put QR codes of the videos on a designated calendar. This helps students who missed the lab because they can now take it home on their phone. Students in the Family and Consumer Science classes conduct cooking demonstrations. This year, the demonstrations are recorded and uploaded online. The student recipes include a QR code that links to the recorded video. Students in music classes are able to practice their parts at home because a QR code on their music links to audio of their individual part. QR codes are located all around the school campus, even on trees. Our vocational agriculture students can break into small groups during a lesson because the audio is segmented according to a particular tree.
QR codes in our school district have extended learning opportunities, provided remediation, and connected our student community beyond the school walls.
So you can see that there are a lot of uses for QR codes, and that was actually done at a secondary campus. That looked like so they were using it for chemistry, biology, they were using it for their fine arts programs. There's like no limit to what you can use a QR code for. The trick is you have to have a program that will create a QR code, and then you also have to have a program that will read a QR code. Now you can read a QR code and you can create a QR code on almost any type of device. You can create a QR code. There are actually websites that you can find that will create QR codes for you. So, and then all you have to do is print them out. So if you go into Google, we're going to pop over here real quick, and I'm going to go real quick over to Google. And if you use the phrase online QR code creator, you'll find all kinds of hits. There's lots of them out there. You have to be careful. Some of them are like hits for places that will want you to buy something. So you have to go through quite a few of them, find some good ones here. So here's one called QR code generator. It's a pretty simple website. Doesn't have a whole lot of ads on it, so it's the/QRcode/generator.com. So that's a pretty good one. So say for instance I want it, I've got a couple of choices there. I can actually have it do a text for me. I can have a QR code as a text. I can do it as a URL, somebody's phone number, an SMS for that. That's a message, like an instant message kind of thing, or some kind of contact. Let's do a URL just for grins here. And so let's say our URL. I'll pick one. How about just oh, I don't know. Let's just put in Google. So www.google, because everybody's familiar with Google. But it can be any website. Google is just the one that we came up with here. And then you just click on Generate. Once you click on Generate, it asks you what size do you want your QR code to be. And you can see automatically right there to the right, you've already hit it's already generated a code for you. So now you have to have something to read the code. So lots of different ways to do this. Teachers, you can print these off, post them up in your room, have the kids go around with their iPads. Another way to do it is actually have a QR code reader on a computer that's got a webcam on it, so that the camera acts as the QR code reader. So I'm going to try this real quick. We're going to see how it worked. Now I have a TLI grant iPad here, and I'm going to do a little dance here because I'm going to pull out a program that we just purchased for free. I love that price, purchased for free. It's called QR Reader. It's a free program that you can get for iPad or for your iPhone, any kind of iDevice will work. You can also find almost exact same programs for Android devices. So these things are all over the place. So I'm going to take this and we're going to scan that code real quick, and then we're going to see how well it does. So I'm going to move that code there right into the center of the screen. I'm going to turn on my QR code reader, and then in a second we're going to read some bigger ones. Um, and so really quick, you can't see it yet, but what I have here is a scanner. The scanner thing's up at the top. I probably should show you in reflection how that works. So let's pop that up real quick and show you how that works. There we go. So let me zoom back out here just a little bit. On our computer, on our iPad, we've got QR reader. And so up at the top, I want to hit scan. And so you can see right there, it's got a little scanner. Just like the scanner at the supermarket when you like, it's very, very similar. But what we want to do is, and you can see my TV studio right there. What we want to do is get our code within that little square. So now I'm going to pop back out of this program and go read this code. And if we did it right, it should take us to Google. So let's see if it does that. We're going to scan it. And let's see if it does it. So now it's scanned it. And now let's go back to this. Here we go. Let's go back to reflection. And if it worked, it did. It actually showed up, and there's Google. So it actually took us to the website Google. That's exactly what we wanted it to do. So we've scanned it using the QR reader. We scanned it, and it took us to a website. Okay, so that's exactly what we wanted it to do. And so I'm going to close that down. And now I'm going to try it with some text. And so we've actually put some QR codes up here in our studio. And I've got two. I've got two over here. One, if we do it right, will take us to Project Share Texas. It'll take us to the website Project Share Texas. So let's see if that works. So, so we come up here and we scan it. Hopefully everybody can see that behind me. We're scanning it. And if we did it right, it's taken us absolutely to the Project Share website. So it did exactly what we wanted it to do. It took us to that Project Share website. That means that our QR code actually worked pretty well. And one of the advantages of QR codes is that you can put lots of information in a text. Now you can't write a whole novel and put it in a QR code, but you can put like pretty good size sentences, paragraphs in one. And so I've got another QR code over here that's got some text in it. So I'm going to go back to my scanner. I'm going to go back to my scanner, and I'm going to scan this one. Now you notice that the QR codes look a little bit different. This one's for a website, this one's for text. Now just looking at it, you have no idea what the text is for there. You have no earthly idea. And so that's kind of cool for kids because your brain can't tell what that is. So if you're doing like a classroom scavenger hunt, the teacher can put up these codes and the students have to find out what is going on in the code there. So let's do it again. We're going to stand out just a little bit. Now yours is probably going to be a little bit smaller. We made big ones so you could see. There we go. And let's see what happened. If we pop up the computer, you can actually see that we have some text from the I Have a Dream speech from Martin Luther King Jr. And there it is. So that's an example of the different kinds of things that you can do with QR codes. You can actually put text in a QR code. You can put a website in a QR code. You can even have it send a video in a QR code. And there's some really good websites that have information about using QR codes in the classroom. So one of them is www. I'm going to zoom in on that. QRreaders.net. There's a whole website for educators about how to use QR codes. QRreaders.net is one that I think is a pretty good one. They actually have some articles about how to use QR codes in education and what you would use them to do. And so there's just some ways to use QR codes. Create a digital portfolio of all students, allow students to check their answers, add QR codes to documents so that students can scan them to learn more as they check their answers for assignments. Isn't that cool? The student does an assignment and then the QR code, once they scan it, that tells them if they got it right or wrong. create codes to promote school events. You can put codes all over the place. Students can scan. You can do a scavenger hunt in your classroom. You can put codes into handouts, into worksheets, all different kinds of things. You're limited only by your imagination. I want to show something to our science teachers that's just awesome. This is called a, let me pull this up here. This is a QR code periodic table of the elements. And you can see that what they did here was they took QR codes of every single element in the periodic table that has a video. And what they did was they put the QR code, and you could print that out, put that up on the wall, and students can come up and learn all about copper, zinc, whatever you're doing. You could have a QR code periodic table of authors. You could have a QR periodic table of the solar system. There's no limit to what you could do here. So let's try one, see what it looks like. I'm going to zoom in on, let's do iron here. That's Fe. Let's see if that'll work. Let's see. You know what I need to do? I need to zoom in, and actually I'm going to show the actual size. This is a pretty big document here. So I'm going to zoom in on this one, which is just nickel. Ni is nickel. So I'm going to go back to my scan, and I'm going to come over here and scan it, and we're going to see what happens. There's nickel. I'm scanning it, and let's see what happens. You can see on my iPad that it takes me to a video that's about nickel and somebody talking about nickel. So isn't that awesome? So you can scan to videos, you can scan to all different kinds of things on the isn't this guy's hair just great? I love it. It looks like he got nickel in his hair. So anyway, that's a real short introduction to QR codes. You can use them in your classroom to do all different kinds of stuff. Kids, you can use QR codes to answer questions, give them back to your teachers. Let your teachers scan them and see if you got the right answers for stuff. So that's an introduction to QR codes. Hope you start using them. We talked about 2 different programs for using them with your iPads. One of them was a QR reader. That's the one to use for the iPad. And then there's lots of different QR codes generators on the internet. The one that we like is called QR code generator, because there's not a whole lot of weird stuff on there like ads and things. So the QR code generator is the way to go for that. So thanks for joining me today for this edition of Digital Discoveries. Start using those QR codes. Start scanning. That's the way to go. We'll see you next time on Digital Discoveries.